Hey everybody, I am so excited to finally set up my B6 plotting notebook. So I have been doing everything I can to try to get back into the excitement and the joy and the love of writing. And if you've been around for a bit, you know that I've been struggling a little bit with writing consistently. And it's been a problem really for a couple of years almost. And so this is my attempt at, I'm hoping it's going to be a really successful attempt at getting back to joy, finding that spark again. And I'm calling this writer reset. And part of my writer reset is just getting my plotting notebook and everything sorted. So I used to use a happy planner for this. And what I'm going to do, just part of sort of reigniting a spark for me sometimes, is trying something different, like a new location or a new plotting process, or so, just something different, change of surroundings, change of tools that I'm using. So I bought a B6 Stalogy notebook that I have been loving using that size. And I also found a B6 Traveler's notebook, a leather one that was pre-loved from eBay. And so I'm gonna set it up today. So what I've been doing is I have these just sort of B6 notebook covers that I got used from eBay also like a couple of years ago when I bought this Foxy Fix. It might have been last year, I'm not sure. And these are just plastic notebook covers that you can put paper into and make them a little bit prettier to go inside your traveler's notebook. So I have these lovely papers. I think most of them are from Honey Bee Shop, but I'm taking out the floral pages that were in there and switching to a more purple magical theme that matches my brand a little bit more. So the first thing I'm doing is just cutting those down to size using the previous pages as a template and then putting them into those little folders. I am going to be using a couple of different smaller notebooks along with my B6 Stalogy notebook. And so I'll share with you kind of what I'm using those for. I don't even know, honestly, if I'll end up using them as much as I think, but we'll see. So here I'm just taking a piece of sticker paper, or actually it's like a full page shipping label, and I'm going to make a washi dashboard. These take a little bit of time and they can be kind of fiddly, but they're always so beautiful in the front of the Stalogy. This is something I've seen many other people do on Instagram and YouTube, but I first learned how to do this from Dakshana, so I will link some of her videos where she kind of taught me how to do this. But it turned out so pretty. So once you pull it up and you pull the backing off, you can just put it right there in the front of your planner. And it just gives it a little bit more decoration as opposed to the typical just gray that's in the front of the Stalogy. So I left some blank pages in the front of this notebook so that I can keep track of what other stories end up going in here. But I have, I'm setting it up right now for The Disappearance of Vanessa Shaw, which is a book that I've been working on for a while. And I think really I'm giving myself about 20 to 30,000 more words. I might be able to finish it up in more like 18,000, but I'm just going to say 30 just in case I'm going to throw some things out and change some things up. So this is a young adult psychological thriller that has a bit of either, I guess, unreliable narrator. It's one of my favorite like fictional things to read, and so I'm trying it out. But we also have multiple POVs, so there are at least 8 points of view in this, and it's also a mixed timeline. So some of the stuff that happens is in the past leading up to Vanessa's disappearance, and some of it is in the future or in present day. So I was writing out all of those character names, and I am also now writing out this pages list here where I can say what pages I'm planning to put into this. And so I'll be adding to this potentially. And then I think it might become an index for just this particular book. Originally, I was thinking it would be cool to have an entire Stalogy notebook dedicated to each book that I write. But then when I started thinking about it, it is 365 pages, and I'm not sure that I need that much space for every single book that I'm writing. So instead, it will either be series based or similar types of books grouped together in a notebook, or it's going to be just whatever I write this year, and it'll be a yearly kind of notebook, and I'll just decide that and figure it out as I go. But here what I'm doing is I'm creating a sprint tracker. If you were around Nano like a year and a half ago, I created this in my look term, which you can see there, the more yellow paper there on the left side. And I used it a little bit, so I think I did maybe 15 or 20 sprints in it, but I was going through some really hard times at that moment, and we still weren't settled. We were living in Airbnbs, and I was really struggling. And that was another attempt of mine to get back into the joy of writing. And it didn't fully work because I was too distracted. I was in too much of, I wouldn't say a depression, but I was really, really caught up in a lot of anxiety. And so I just want to encourage you that sometimes it can feel like we're being a burden, or that we're being, I don't know, annoying, or that because we've tried and started and failed, so we think so many times, like we haven't followed through the way that we originally planned, and maybe we told people that we were going to do it, and it can feel embarrassing, or it can feel frustrating to think, oh my gosh, am I the kind of person who always tells people that I'm going to try this thing, whatever it may be, and then I don't follow through. And I just want to encourage you that I don't know if everyone does this. Maybe there are some people who follow through great with everything, but everybody I know has moments where they try and it doesn't work out the way they hoped, and they have to start over and they have to try again. And sometimes that means picking ourselves back up and finding the spark again and figuring out ways to get back to that place of, I feel inspired to work on this. And so for me, it's, setting up my stationery and getting it the way I want it to be. And so I just want to encourage you that if you feel like you've tried and failed or started and stopped too many times, that I'm still going to encourage you and I'm still going to be here with you. So let's do it together. So that is the pages that I'm going to set up. So you can see I set up the sprint tracker. I also set up this plotting tracker. So I'm going to put pieces of the plot, which chapter it's in. So if it's like the mirror moment or something like that, I'll put that there. And then I'm going to put information about the scenes that I'm writing, what the conflict is, the purpose of the scene, and then any other notes that I happen to have. And some of that structure also came from Helen Redfern, and I am going to link some of her like story plotting videos down below. But I put a page in between each of those sort of pieces of the act. I use the 3-act structure, but I separate act 2 into part 1 and part 2, with the midpoint being in the middle. So I will share with you as that begins to sort of unfold or get put together. I'm going to use some page flags and have that plot hopefully right there. I also keep track of my plot on my wall, so I'll be sharing more of that with you if you're new here. If you want to subscribe, I would love to have you as part of our community. In the month of April, I'm going to be doing this entire series called Writer Reset, and it's going to be a series of vlogs of getting back to this joy and writing hopefully the last of this book for Camp NaNoWriMo. So next week, I will share with you sort of my goals. So there I was doing a tip-in. This is also something I learned from Dakshina. So again, you'll find her links down below. But it's basically just taking vellum or acetate and using some packing tape to insert it into your journal. So this first notebook, I think I'm going to use as a writer reset notebook, like a journal for that, just for the reset portion of it. Like, what are the things I've tried? And then I don't know what I'm going to do with that black notebook, but this is a Erin Condren perpetual calendar that I was thinking maybe I could track my daily word count in there, but I don't show you this. But in the end, when I went through it again, I was like, you know what? I don't think I'm going to use that. And so I did pull it out. So I just have basically a journal, and then I have my B6 Stalogy. So here I'm setting up these pockets, and I love pockets. If you are new here, you will find sometimes I set up my A5 planners or other types of planners, and I always like to set up the pockets with little ephemera and little things I got from boxes or things I bought off of Etsy, like that self-love potion and the Cosmic AF and the little coffee brew. I got those off of a shop from Etsy, so I'll link those down below. I don't remember where I got the Alice in Wonderland Drink Me one. That is old, but the little Totoro emoji is from the Coffee Monsters Co. And then the Ollie clips there I love as well. And this, like, just decorating it is part of the spark for me. And it may seem silly to some people if it's not your thing, because I know a lot of people love minimalism and they love the look of things just being really streamlined and clean. And so if that's you, then set it up streamlined and clean and get something that makes you feel inspired and excited. So that keep writing little card that I had down there is from Procrastiplanner. And then this cover here comes from Lauren Phelps Design. And I just like to have a cover so I can put my stickers and other things in there. So all of this is going to go into this B6 Stalogy or B6 Chic Sparrow Traveler's Notebook. And I love to keep my plotting supplies as much as I can. That little Hello Coffee was a gift from a fan in my mailbox, and so I want to put that on the notebook as well, a little bit more permanently, but I keep not deciding where I want to put it, so it just keeps traveling around with me. But part of getting these pockets and stuff set up is often just trial and error, like bring out everything you have that has purple on it and see how it looks. So that one thing that I cut up that said Sarra Cannon is packing tape that I used for a recent book signing, and I wanted to put it in my notebook as well, just to remind myself that, like, there are people out there still waiting for these books and they're excited for them. So I got this little Tokidoki purple pen at Daiso and I love it. And so I was just kind of taking a look at how do I like how it feels, and I was pretty happy with it. So then here I have this little charm that says believe and has a rose on it, another gift in my mailbox. So thank you to everybody who has sent gifts. It means a lot and I do use them and love them. So here I have two other gifts, and this one has a bunch of dragonflies on it. And then I also have this one that is more of like a junk, they call it like junk ribbon charm. And so I tried them both out, and I have, I think, another use for the dragonfly one. So I'm going to use this one that has a little bit more like softness to it. So that is it. I'm all set up and I'm loving it. And I'm so happy and excited for this chance to just get back to the spark, to share the process. So if you also are looking forward to getting yourself back to a place where you're excited to write every day, where you're excited for your stories, then come join me for Writer Reset. We'll be doing vlogs and just sharing everything that I'm doing to bring back my creativity after a period of struggling to write. So I've created space for this in my schedule. I'm so excited for it. So just a quick little walk through here. You have the washi dashboard, some empty pages here. I've got the book cover. I have a tagline, everyone had a reason to want Vanessa gone, including me. I have character sheets, which I'll continue on the next page. Then my sprints to track. And then we're to those plotting sheets. I have one for Act 1 and then a page in between, Act 2, Part 1 and 2, and then Act 3. And on the pages in between, I'm going to work on the timeline. I'm going to create a vision board here, so I'll share that with you. And then I'm going to put the April calendar in there, and then the rest of it will be part of the plot and journaling. So I am thrilled at how it turned out. I hope you enjoyed it too. I'll have all those links for you down below, and I will see you next week for the Writer Reset sort of explanation. And also don't forget to come join us in the HB90 Bootcamp. I would love to see you in there. It's open now and we start on Sunday. So find that link down below. All right, I will see you guys soon.